Hi, today Deanna and I are going to give our Tim tip of the day. And today we're going to talk about loving yourself, right?
Yeah, and what does that mean? And I was thinking on my way here, I think that, when I realized that I was my own worst enemy, and it was because of, how I would talk to myself in my head.
Yeah.
The thoughts that I would have, like say, I spilled something on my white blouse, I'd be like, oh, you stupid, blah, 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 blah. And then, and that's the negative self-talk. That's my own worst enemy. And I thought, no, I wouldn't treat a child that way. If they spilled something, I would say, it's okay. We'll clean it up. Well, it's all right. And we'll change your shirt or whatever. So it really begins with your thought.
Yeah. We're so critical of ourselves too, and a lot of times we're comparing ourselves to other people, and that makes us critical of who we are.
Yes.
But when we start our day connecting with ourselves and going into our heart, and one of the ways is to do your Tim makeup every day.
Yeah.
It's only 5 minutes. And that's not the only Tim tip of the day. I am going to give one at the end of the video.
But it's also, taking that time for yourself. And that it's the after effect when you take that time for yourself, because every time you go into the bathroom or every time you see your image, you're doing a selfie or whatever, when you really feel like you look really good, those feelings go inward. And that's what you exude to other people, either your coworkers, your family, anyone that you talk to on the phone. You're feeling good about yourself.
Even people in traffic.
Yes.
Instead of yelling at people or getting angry because somebody cut you off. And they didn't mean to do that.
No.
We all make those last minute choices that, aren't the best. And then we do it and we're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just did that. And then you've got the other person yelling.
And I feel so bad, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Right.
And the other thing is like how many times, and I especially see it in women, of course, we're surrounded by women all day, every day, that how much we apologize or how much we say, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We have to stop saying, I'm sorry. I remember when you said you stepped on a client's foot, to walk around the table. She was watching her daughter getting her brows done. And she said, oh, I'm sorry. And you were like, what are you apologizing for? I stepped on your toe.
Right. But it's so automatic.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's mostly women.
Yes. I don't hear many men saying that very often at all.
No.
So and when you say I'm sorry for when you're not even sorry, you're not giving an apology.
Or you haven't done anything wrong.
Yeah. That you're overusing the word, you're disempowering yourself.
Right.
You're giving your own power away. And that's not self-love. I mean, self-love is really, reclaiming your power within, your love, the power of love.
Yeah, so turning all the love like that you would give a child, or you do give your partner, or strangers on the street, turning that into yourself first.
Yes.
First thing in the morning, and doing that.
So imagine a life of, just beginning to bring that into your awareness.
Yeah, and it's also helpful when you have someone in your life that, catches you, and say, what did you just say? Deanna and I do that with each other all the time when we're working through something or trying to change an old habit.
And so we're assisting each other.
Yes.
We're able to see it very clearly in somebody else before we can see it in ourselves.
Right. So now I want to talk about the Tim tip of the day, and this came to me this morning. So the sequence of the steps, step 1, 2, 3, and 4, are sequenced for a reason. So we start with the eye definer for a couple of reasons. Number one is when we're using the eye definer powder, and if we get any black specks from the powder, dropping from the brush below our eyes, we can just wipe it off. And we don't have to reapply our tinted moisturizer, which is step number 2. So step number 2, would you grab that brush for me? The stipple brush. So when we put our tinted moisturizer on after we've done our liner, and this always surprises women,
it does,
that I go right over the eyelid with the tinted moisturizer. And I noticed this morning that another reason why that's step number 2 is that it softens the eye definer. Okay, so the eye definer at first is really harsh. So if you're only using the eye definer, then it's very important to go over it with the tinted moisturizer,
yes,
or a tinted moisturizer.
Yes.
and soften that up so that it just looks like your lashes are fuller and not like you've just put eyeliner on your eyes.
So see, I mean, it looks, you know, I'm looking at myself, I'm looking at you, I don't see your eyeliner, but I'm this close to you, but I see it on you, but you know, we don't see it. When we don't want to see the makeup, we want to see us.
Right, and so that's the other reason one of the many reasons to not wear mascara.
Yeah.
And so if mascara is something that you've always worn and that you can't imagine getting ready without it.
Which I couldn't.
Yeah, one of the reasons that women wear mascara is because it is the one thing that they can use easily.
Yes.
Right?
It's simple.
Yes, and so they're used to seeing themselves, and they think that when we look at ourselves, we think our eyes do not pop unless we have that mascara on. But what mascara actually does is that it clumps your lashes together and makes it look like spider legs around your eyes. So if you're starting to wean, one of the best things to do is to just stop using it on your lower lashes.
Yes, and then just apply it to the very tips, because the tips of the lash hair are transparent. And so if you just get a little bit of black on the tips, it doesn't look like mascara, it defines the length of your lashes.
Right. So that's our Tim tip of the day. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.
And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel on YouTube and like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. We love you guys. We love, you know, that we're able to share our discoveries with each other
and
really
our journey.
And our journey. And this is about loving yourself, and it sounds like, you know, so simple, but just ask yourself, how can I show myself unconditional love today? And see what happens.
Yeah.
Have a great day. Have a great weekend. We love you. Bye.
Bye.